I still remember the sound of the lock clicking behind me. It wasn't loud, but it felt heavy, like it sealed more than just a door. When I turned around, my mom's friend was smiling, calm, almost gentle, and she said, "Perfect timing, as always." My heart skipped, because in that moment, I had no idea whether my life was about to fall apart or finally come together. Sometimes kindness doesn't arrive wrapped in softness. Sometimes it comes disguised as confusion, fear, or a moment that makes you feel trapped until you realize someone cared enough to stop you from walking away. Before we begin, if you enjoy emotional, real-life inspired stories about kindness, second chances, and unexpected moments that change everything, make sure to subscribe, like this video, and share your thoughts in the comments. You're watching your channel name, and your support helps these stories reach more hearts. My mom had always been the kind of person who trusted easily. She believed people were good by default. I, on the other hand, had learned to be careful. Life had already taught me how quickly things could fall apart when you trusted the wrong person at the wrong time. After my dad passed away, money got tight. I dropped out of college for a while and bounced between jobs that barely paid rent. I tried not to complain, but every day felt like I was treading water, exhausted and unsure how long I could keep going. That's when my mom suggested I visit her friend Linda. Linda was someone I'd known my whole life. She wasn't family, but she might as well have been. She was always around during holidays, birthdays, and tough times. She had a calm presence, the kind that made you feel like things would be okay, even when they clearly weren't. "She just wants to talk," my mom said. She might have some advice. I didn't want advice. I wanted answers or money or a miracle. But I agreed, mostly to make my mom feel better. Linda lived in a small but beautiful house with a warm kitchen that always smelled like something baking. When I arrived, she greeted me with a hug and told me to come inside. That's when it happened. As soon as I stepped in, she closed the door behind me and locked it. The click echoed in my head. I turned around, confused. Linda?" She smiled, not in a creepy way, but in that same calm, knowing way she always had. "Perfect timing, as always," she said. My stomach tightened. For a second, my mind raced through every possible worst-case scenario. Why would she lock the door? Was this some kind of joke? Or was something seriously wrong? "Linda," I said slowly, "why did you lock the door?" She didn't answer right away. Instead, she gestured toward the kitchen table. "Sit with me for a moment." I didn't want to, but something in her voice made me listen. I sat down, my hands clenched in my lap. She poured 2 cups of coffee and slid one toward me. "I locked the door because if I didn't," she said gently, "you would leave before hearing what you need to hear." That hit me harder than I expected. "I'm not here to trap you," she continued. "I'm here because your mom is worried. And because I've been worried about you for a long time." I felt defensive immediately. "I'm fine," I said, even though my voice shook. "I'm handling things." Linda nodded. "I know you think you are, but kindness sometimes means stopping someone long enough to show them they don't have to handle everything alone." She reached into a folder on the table and slid it toward me. Inside were job listings, community resources, and a letter with my name on it. I stared at it, confused. "What is this?" "That," she said, "is an opportunity." She explained that she'd been quietly helping people in tough situations for years, connecting them with resources, mentoring them, and sometimes giving them a place to start over. She'd seen me struggle. She'd watched me pretend I was okay when I wasn't. And instead of judging me, she prepared. "I know you're proud," she said softly, "and I know pride can keep us locked inside our own pain. So today, I locked the door, not to trap you, but to keep you from running away from help." I felt my eyes burn. No one had ever said that to me before. She told me about a paid training program through a local company she volunteered with. It wasn't glamorous, but it was stable. Health insurance, real growth, a future. "I recommended you," she said, "but only if you want it. I swallowed hard. Why would you do all this for me? Linda smiled again, this time with tears in her eyes. Because years ago when I was drowning, someone did it for me. Kindness doesn't disappear when it's given. It multiplies. Something inside me cracked open. I hadn't realized how lonely I'd been until that moment. How much weight I was carrying just to prove I didn't need anyone. The locked door didn't feel scary anymore. It felt safe. I took the letter with shaking hands. What if I fail? I asked. Then you try again, she said, and you won't be alone. She unlocked the door after that, but by then, I wasn't in a hurry to leave. That decision changed everything. I joined the program. It was hard. There were days I wanted to quit. But Linda checked in, encouraged me, and reminded me why I started. A year later, I had a steady job, my own small apartment, and something I hadn't had in a long time: hope. One evening, I visited Linda again. As I stood by the door, she smiled and said, "No locking today." I laughed, realizing how different I felt. Before I left, I hugged her tightly. "Thank you," I said, "for not letting me walk away." She squeezed my hand. That's what kindness does. It holds the door closed long enough for someone to see the light inside. Now, whenever I see someone struggling, I remember that moment. I remember that kindness isn't always about saying yes or making things easy. Sometimes it's about having the courage to step in, to pause someone's escape from their own potential, and to say, "You matter enough for me to care." That locked door didn't trap me. It saved me. And maybe that's the quiet power of kindness, showing up at the exact right moment and changing a life, without ever asking for credit in return. If this story moved you, I hope it inspires you to be that moment for someone else, because you never know when your kindness might be the perfect timing. As always,